The first pale light of dawn seeps slowly across Vega Outpost, filtering through thick, curling smoke that still clings to the shattered remains of bunkers and twisted metal. The air is heavy with silence, broken only by the distant creak of broken structures settling into ruin. Here, where artillery once roared and enemy banners flew defiantly, a fragile ceasefire holds, a quiet that feels less like peace and more like the calm before another storm. The battlefield, scarred and scorched, stands as a solemn witness to carnage barely past, but not forgotten. Sergeant Rhea Maris staggers forward, each step heavy with exhaustion and memories of battles fought. Her dirt-smudged face glistens with sweat and grime. Trembling hands lift her helmet, revealing hair matted with dust. Ragged breaths escape her lips, visible in the cold morning air, a rhythm of life worn thin by war. Beneath her weary exterior lies the weight of survival. A soldier's body bearing wounds unseen, and a heart burdened by loss. Where enemy flags once billowed proudly, torn fabric now hangs limp, draped like ghosts over wreckage and broken crates. The thundering artillery has ceased, replaced by an eerie stillness that presses against the chest like a suffocating shroud. Craters filled with stagnant rain mirror the gray sky above, a battlefield frozen in time. Yet beneath this silence, the echoes of violence still haunt every shadowed corner. Rhea's jaw tightens, her gaze distant as she surveys the horizon, where blurred silhouettes of fallen comrades flicker through tears. Invisible scars ripple beneath her skin, memories of loss and fear that no ceasefire can erase. Her hands tremble slightly, betraying the internal battles waged far from the shattered trenches. This peace is fragile, and the deepest wounds run far beyond the battlefield's physical scars. At the trench's edge, Lieutenant Convort cradles a dying comrade, his soot-streaked cheeks glistening with tears that carve paths through grime. His eyes, red-rimmed and haunted, search the soldier's shallow breaths, desperate to hold on to fleeting life. The flickering emergency lights cast long shadows across his face, highlighting the raw humanity beneath the hardened exterior of command. In this moment, the cost of war is painfully, heartbreakingly clear. Khan's voice breaks the silence, low and heavy with doubt. They called it peace. What do we call this? His words hang between them, echoing in the flickering glow of nearby fires. The tension thickens the air as both men stare into the uncertain future, caught between relief and fear, hope and despair. Peace feels more like a question than an answer in the aftermath of war. Kneeling beside Khan, Rhea lowers her voice to a solemn whisper. The next front. Her words mark a shift, a battle beyond guns and blood. It is a fight for healing broken minds, rebuilding shattered lives, and protecting the fragile future they have won. Around them, the ruined landscape stretches wide, bathed now in the faint glow of sunrise, a new day dawning over scars still fresh. Victory, she realizes, was only the first step. The true war is just beginning, and they must be ready. Vega Outpost, once a bustling forward base alive with a hum of activity and hope, now lies desolate, a graveyard strewn with stripped hulls and rusted vehicles half buried in ash. Unmarked landmines lurk beneath cracked earth, silent threats in forgotten corners. Ration drops, once lifelines, falter and fail, leaving survivors to scavenge. The skyline is dominated by shattered buildings and skeletal towers, standing as grim monuments to a conflict barely past, but not yet healed. The air is heavy with loss, the landscape a chilling reminder of war's unforgiving toll. Flickering hollowboards, once beacons of progress, now struggle to maintain their glow amid the ruin. They broadcast repeated messages, ceasefire enforced, reconstruction underway, words that ring hollow against the backdrop of half-collapsed walls and crumbling facades. The slogans cast shifting light across shattered surfaces, glitching with each flicker. Official hopes clash with harsh realities, as the ruins swallow any promise of swift recovery. This disconnect paints a stark portrait of peace that is more a fragile mask than a true beginning. Slow and methodical, supply crawlers inch through the cratered fields like ghosts of logistical effort. Their heavy treads leave faint, ghostly tracks in the ash, weaving tentative paths through devastation. These vehicles, remnants of a broken supply chain, are lifelines that persist against all odds, bringing scarce aid to those still clinging to survival. From a distance, silhouetted convoys trace a fragile thread of hope winding through the shattered remains of the outpost. Within the shattered mess hall, dim emergency lights flicker as exhausted med teams triage wounded survivors with dwindling supplies. Morphine is scarce, rationed carefully among those who suffer deepest pain. Faces etched with fatigue and despair meet the urgent gaze of overworked medics, who offer care tempered by the crushing weight of limited resources. In this fragile refuge, hope runs thin, yet the relentless efforts to save life persist despite the odds stacked mercilessly against them. Emerging from bunker shadows, refugees step into an air thick with dust and toxins, their eyes hollow from trauma and displacement. Faces streaked with dirt and weariness move silently through the poisoned streets, haunted by memories of homes lost and futures uncertain. Their fragile figures weave through ruins, searching for shelter and sustenance. These survivors embody the profound human cost of conflict, carrying invisible wounds that no ceasefire can immediately heal. Above the shattered landscape, command drones hover silently, broadcasting daily casualty reports in cold, mechanical tones. The war may be quiet now, but the numbers tell a grim story, bodies mounting as survivors succumb to wounds and despair. Holographic statistics flicker in command centers, detached from the personal grief hidden beneath each figure. These drones are impartial witnesses, chronicling loss without voice or judgment, their cold data underscoring the quiet tragedy unfolding below. Among the ruins, veterans once proud patrolmen now trade their worn boots for scavengers' gear, turning to survival over duty. Law dissolves into rumor. Authority becomes whispered tales in darkened alleys. Shadows of former comrades move furtively through crumbled streets, bartering and scavenging what little remains. Amidst this fractured morale, Sergeant Rhea Maris stands tense and watchful, sensing the brittle mask of peace is wearing thin. In the distance, fires flicker, portents of a breaking point that could shatter what fragile calm remains. In the dim light of a flickering candle, Sergeant Rhea Maris carefully gathers dog tags from the fallen, their worn metal cold and heavy in her hands. One by one, she catalogs each name meticulously in a blackened ledger, each etched name a solemn vow, a promise to remember those who gave everything for peace. The ritual grounds her amid chaos, transforming grief into resolve. Each tag carries a story of sacrifice, each name a thread woven into the fragile fabric of survival. As the candle's flame dances over her steady hand, Rhea's eyes reflect both sorrow and steely determination, the memory of the fallen becoming the heartbeat of her unyielding fight to forge hope from ashes. Lieutenant Convort presses a ration bar into Rhea's palm, its crinkled foil rustling softly in the quiet camp. She cracks a weary smile, biting into the dry morsel. Best meal since the first bombardment, she quips, voice rough but warm. Vort forces a grin, the faintest spark of humor lighting his soot-streaked face. Calories taste like victory these days. For a brief moment, the weight of war lifts, replaced by fragile laughter shared between comrades. Around them, the dim glow of a small campfire flickers, casting long shadows on tired faces. In that fleeting reprieve, they find strength, proof that even amid darkness, light can bloom through simple human connection. Beneath the twisted wreckage of a shattered communications array, Rhea and her team jury-rig a message beacon from scavenged parts. Sparks fly as wires connect, flickering lights pulse in hesitant rhythm. The device hums to life, a fragile lifeline cast into the void. Each member holds their breath, eyes scanning the dark horizon for any sign of response. The howling wind and distant echoes of conflict press in, but hope flares in the soft glow of the beacon. Their signal is a desperate plea, a call for aid that may fall silent into the void or awaken distant allies. In that tension, the team stands united, hearts beating in cautious hope against the crushing weight of uncertainty. Radio crackles with panic from a trapped salvage team stranded beyond unmarked minefields. Without hesitation, Rhea leads her squad into the perilous terrain, each step a careful gamble on peace surviving this fragile ceasefire. Dust clouds billow as boots press softly into cracked earth, flashlights cutting through choking ash. Every movement is measured, every breath held against the threat lurking beneath the soil. Faces taut with focus, the team edges closer to their trapped comrades, hearts pounding in sync with the ticking dangers. Rhea's steady voice guides them, weaving courage into every cautious step. This act of risky compassion defies the silence imposed by war, an assertion that humanity endures even when the ground itself threatens to betray them. Snipers lurk in shadowed perimeters, their sharp eyes trained on the rescue team's advance. Sensing the imminent threat, Rhea steps forward, drawing fire away from her squad. Explosive muzzle flashes burst against the night's dark canvas, illuminating her silhouette as she moves with determined grace. Each flash is a beacon guiding her team through the chaos, her body a shield against deadly intent. Shouts and scrambling feet echo as her comrades navigate towards safety, relying on the rhythm of her courage and the light of gunfire. In this defiant rescue, Rhea embodies leadership forged in fire, fearless and unyielding, sacrificing her own safety for the lives of others. The battlefield becomes a stage for bravery, where hope flickers strongest amid the storm. A spent flare arcs through the air, its pale light flickering softly over the battered terrain. In that transient glow, Lieutenant Vort catches Rhea's gaze, eyes locking in a moment heavy with unspoken understanding. "You're not done, are you?" he asks quietly, voice laced with respect and shared weariness. Rhea presses a firm hand to his shoulder, the contact grounding them both. "Not while breath remains. Not while hope survives," she replies, her voice steady despite the exhaustion. In this flickering light, their bond transcends words, a silent vow to continue the fight. The moment hangs suspended, a fragile yet fierce promise that amid devastation, human spirit endures, and together, they will carry the torch forward. The camera pulls back slowly, revealing Rhea and her team silhouetted against a battered horizon as dawn begins to break. The sky softens with hues of pink and gold, a stark contrast to the night's brutal shadows. Though worn and weathered, the team's posture radiates resolve, a quiet defiance against the long road ahead. Their footsteps stir the dust of a land scarred but not broken, each step a testament to resilience. Rhea's voice, steady and clear, echoes softly, "Not while breath remains. Not while hope survives." The words ripple through the scene like a heartbeat, affirming that the fight for peace, for healing, is far from over. This enduring hope is a call to arms, a beacon for all who refuse to surrender. In the dim, dust-choked archives of the command bunker, Rhea Maris and Lieutenant Convort sift through brittle folders and flickering hollow screens. Among the forgotten documents, they unearth a sealed memorandum stamped with cold bureaucracy, revealing the ceasefire was a facade, a smokescreen masking a darker truth. Population realignment, zones designated for forced removals and brutal purges. The words clinical and detached betray a sinister intent far from peace. The room's shadows seem to deepen as the cold reality settles. They were pawns in a calculated design to control, cleanse, and confine. What was promised as peace is instead a prelude to deeper suffering. Scrolling holotexts expose the treaty's fine print, a grim roadmap enforcing forced relocations under the guise of security corridors. Maps glow ominously, highlighting zones where entire civilian populations face displacement, with these safe zones ominously marked as death traps. The sterile legal jargon hides a brutal reality, stripping away any pretense of humanitarian concern. Civilians unknowingly march into enclosures designed for internment, their fates sealed by the cold hand of political expediency. The betrayal is palpable, a treaty written in shadow, weaponizing bureaucracy to dismantle the very freedom the war was fought to achieve. Flickering holologs play fragmented, haunting scenes, a mother's desperate plea as she searches for a lost child. Community leaders crush beneath the relentless advance of armored boots. These ghostly recordings ripple through the bunker's silence, evoking the raw human cost behind the cold data. Faces marked by fear and sorrow flash in the dim light. Whispers of lives torn apart, promises broken. Each frame reverberates with the pain of displacement and loss, an echo of broken trust and shattered hopes. The past's torment spills into the present, igniting Rhea and Vort's determination to confront the dark truth. A buried command scrolls across the command console. Initiate relocation directive. Protocol Omega-9. The phrase chills the air like a death sentence. If executed, it will send Vega's refugees into internment camps disguised as safe zones, erasing their freedom beneath a veil of false security. Red warning lights pulse in urgent rhythm as the console signals the imminent launch of transports. The sterile language clashes starkly with the brutal consequences lurking beneath, a mechanized purge wrapped in bureaucratic euphemism. The weight of the directive settles over Rhea and Vort, transforming their mission from rescue to resistance. Rhea's jaw clenches tightly, her eyes burning with fierce resolve. "We fought to free them. Now we'll bind them," she murmurs, the betrayal tasting bitter on her tongue. Vort's voice wavers, but hardens with determination. "Then bind them no more." In that charged exchange, the fight shifts. The enemy is no longer just external, but insidious, woven into the very fabric of the fragile peace. Their cause becomes a battle not only against war, but against betrayal and control, a fight to shatter new chains before they can imprison more souls. An automated countdown blares across the bunker's network. Relocation transports will deploy in T-407 across 3 sectors. Red digits flash urgently on hollow screens, casting an ominous glow over tense faces. On maps, convoy routes light up like blood trails, advancing inexorably toward populated zones. The ticking clock drives urgency into every heartbeat. Time is slipping away to stop the purge. Rhea and Vort exchange grim glances. Failure means consigning thousands to a fate worse than war. The moment demands swift, decisive action. A last stand against a betrayal cloaked in law. With a swift keystroke, Rhea hijacks the bunker's beacon uplink, flooding rebel networks and sympathetic outposts with the consortium's hidden relocation directive. Data torrents surge outward like a digital storm, shattering silence with forbidden truths. Across star systems, alert signals blink furiously. Outposts light up with urgent warnings, and fleets scramble to respond. The broadcast tears through layers of censorship and control, exposing the betrayal for all to see. In this act of defiance, the veil of deception is ripped away, igniting a renewed fire within scattered resistance cells and sparking hope where despair had begun to take root. Vort retrieves a weathered dog tag and stamps it firmly with the bold word, "Peacebreaker." The cold metal clang resonates in the tense air as he hands it to Rhea. She exhales deeply, the weight of the title settling over her like armor. The name embodies her new role, not just a soldier or survivor, but a rebel committed to dismantling lies and fighting injustice from within. In that moment, Peacebreaker becomes a rallying cry, a beacon for those willing to rise against betrayal and reclaim true freedom. their steel-gloved forearms clasped tightly, sparks flickering where metal meets metal. This gesture seals a vow, an unbreakable pact to free the oppressed, even from their own side's machinations. The weight of shared sacrifice presses between them, forging solidarity born of trust and necessity. Shadows play across their faces, illuminated by the flickering consoles that bear witness to their resolve. In that moment, camaraderie transcends words. Their alliance stands as a fortress against the looming threat. Together, they embody defiance, a promise that no chain, no decree can bind their will to justice. Ria's fingers dance across the control panels, overriding the bunker's power grid to loop false tracking data. On holographic displays, convoy routes blink and swirl in endless loops, masking the true movements of relocation transports. The transports themselves vanish from official logs, slipping silently into the night under cover of false signals. Tense glances pass between Ria and Vort as they watch the deception take hold, a tactical gambit to buy precious time. This act of subversion turns technology into a shield for the vulnerable, a digital ghost that confounds the machine's iron grip. In shadowed basements and forgotten tunnels, underground resistance cells stir awake. Engineers gather to repair stolen tech. Medics organize hidden clinics. Former soldiers rearm in secret. The broadcast of the Peacebreaker Code ignites a spark that breathes life into dormant hope. Whispers ripple through these hidden networks, uniting diverse factions under a shared banner. Plans unfold in hushed tones. Hands exchange coded messages, and faces once marked by fear now burn with determination. The rebellion takes form anew, a coalition forged not in open battlefields, but in shadows and quiet acts of courage. At the bunker's threshold, silhouetted against flickering emergency lights, Ria and Vort stand tall. The first transports disappear into the night, swallowed by darkness and false data. Let them chase shadows, Ria declares, voice steady and fierce. Vort nods, fists clenched in resolve. We'll chase justice. Together, they embody a defiant hope, two warriors rising against an unyielding machine. The fight has only just begun, but their courage lights a path forward. As the orchestral tension rises, they step into the night, ready to turn the tide and shatter the silence imposed on the innocent. Across the shattered networks of Vega, insurgent broadcasts ripple through hidden relay stations, cutting through static with urgent clarity. Ceasefire a lie. Join the peacebreakers. These transmissions, raw and unfiltered, ignite hope where propaganda once smothered truth. Shadowed figures huddle around flickering holoscreens, their eyes reflecting the rebel call for resistance. The broadcasts become a lifeline, threading through tunnels and ruined cityscapes alike, carrying the voices of defiance into the silence forced by occupation. Every intercepted message strengthens the fragile web of rebellion, transforming whispered doubts into a rallying roar that shatters the illusion of peace. Dusty caravans snake their way through rugged terrain, blockade runners ferrying families away from the grasp of imperial control. Hidden among craggy hills and forested enclaves, kibbutz-style towns rise, simple settlements fortified with scavenged weapons and fierce determination. Children play near makeshift armories while elders teach survival skills, their hands steady despite the weight of conflict. These communities embody resilience, reclaiming autonomy one guarded step at a time. Each convoy arrival breathes life into these sanctuaries, as families trade fear for fleeting safety. Here, in the shadow of war, hope roots itself in the solidarity of shared hardship, and resistance takes on a deeply personal, communal form. Within the military ranks, fissures widen as platoons with sympathetic hearts quietly lay down their arms. Commanders, torn between duty and conscience, voice defiance. I won't march on my own people. Tense conversations ripple through camps where orders are questioned and loyalty is tested. Soldiers exchange resolute looks, their hands hovering over weapons they hesitate to wield. This silent fracture weakens the iron grip of Imperial command, revealing a fragile chain strained by doubt. The breaking ranks sow confusion but also kindle hope, proof that even within the oppressor's forces, humanity endures, and the seeds of rebellion can take root where least expected. Through rugged communicators and guerrilla channels, Rhea's voice rings clear and fierce. We fought for freedom. Our fight continues. Her words slice through the murmur of uncertainty, rallying rebels scattered across the fractured landscape. Faces light up in hidden camps as the broadcast spreads, turning fear into fierce resolve. Rebels clutch radios and hollow devices, sharing the call with clenched fists and fierce eyes. Rhea becomes more than a soldier. She embodies hope, a beacon in the darkness that steadies nerves and ignites courage. Her rallying cry forges connection across distance and despair, reminding the scattered fighters that their struggle is shared, their cause unyielding. In swift, deliberate strikes, Vought dispatches rescue teams tasked with destroying relocation camps before they fill. Explosive charges are set beneath hastily erected fences, igniting plumes of smoke that blot out the poisoned skies. Flames consume the false sanctuaries intended to imprison the displaced, turning the regime's plans to ash before they can take hold. Amid the chaos, quick tactical briefings echo through comm channels, precision and urgency guiding every movement. The strikes are grim but necessary acts of defiance, sowing confusion among oppressors and buying precious time for those still in peril. These operations blend hope with harsh realities, carving space for resistance within the heart of tyranny. Imperial loyalists scorch roads and bridges, turning pathways into blazing barricades to halt rebel advances. Rhea moves swiftly, severing network nodes and communications cables amid sparks and flying debris. "We choose our own lines," she declares, embracing uncertainty as a weapon. The battlefield becomes a contest not just of firepower, but of will. Each destroyed link a statement of autonomy, each scorched earth a refusal to surrender. Tense standoffs unfold beneath blackened skies as both sides stake their claim. The war morphing into a brutal dance where control is measured in signals lost and lines redrawn in ash. Under the eerie glow of a blood-red moon, ragtag rebels and displaced survivors line the valley, shadows etched against crimson skies. Weapons are raised, banners torn but held high, and faces hardened by loss yet softened by shared resolve. In this solemn gathering, disparate factions become one, a mosaic forged in adversity. The night air hums with whispered prayers, battle chants, and silent vows. Here, beneath the ominous moonlight, unity is both shield and sword. This convergence marks not just a stand against oppression, but a promise to reclaim a future bound by shared sacrifice and unyielding courage. The conflict transcends battlefield lines, evolving into a war within, a struggle for identity, freedom, and survival. Civilians and soldiers, once divided by circumstance, now stand side by side, their differences blurred by shared purpose. Rebel insignias pulse like hearts on flickering hollow screens, symbols of a cause that unites rather than divides. As dawn breaks on the horizon, faint light promises new beginnings forged in fire and unity. This is no longer a fractured fight, but a collective journey, a people bound by hope, ready to shape their destiny together. In the dimly lit safe house, Rhea paces restlessly, the soft cries of wounded children piercing the heavy silence. Each whimper feels like a dagger, reminding her that survival here is fragile and protection often falls short. Vought kneels nearby, gently tending to a child's trembling hand, his movements careful yet weary. The room's shadows stretch long, mirroring the weight pressing down on Rhea's shoulders. Every step she takes echoes faintly against the cold walls, a physical manifestation of her inner turmoil and the quiet toll exacted by war's aftermath. Vort lowers his gaze, the shadows deepening across his face as he admits in a quiet, strained voice, "We plunge them from one terror into another." His words hang heavy, the admission of their unintended fallout settling like a fog. A slow exhale escapes him, a breath weighted with regret and the moral cost of their fight. The flickering light briefly catches his clenched jaw, revealing a man grappling with the price of resistance and the fragile line between salvation and sacrifice. Rhea stops pacing and fixes Vort with a steady, unwavering gaze. "Then I'll pull them from this one, too," she says with quiet determination, her voice a beacon in the gloom. "We owe them hope." Her hands curl into fists at her sides before she reaches out, fingers intertwining silently with his in a gesture of shared strength and promise. Soft light illuminates her resolute expression, embodying a resilience that refuses to be broken by doubt. In that moment, she becomes the anchor for their fractured mission. The bunker's cold corridors pulse with a haunting echo, the hollow reverberations mirroring the rift growing silently between hope and despair. Flickering lights cast long, wavering shadows that dance like ghosts on the steel walls, each flicker a reminder of peace's fragility amid unending conflict. The oppressive silence stretches taut, broken only by distant mechanical hums and the soft drip of water. Soundscapes that underscore the psychological strain borne by those caught between duty and the dread of what lies ahead. In the half-light of the command room, Vort's voice drops to a vulnerable whisper. "Will you bear this burden alone?" His eyes search hers, seeking reassurance against the loneliness that leadership demands. The space between them tightens with unspoken fears, their faces framed by dim monitors casting a soft glow. Their hands inch closer but hesitate, a fragile dance of vulnerability and trust. This quiet moment lays bare the strain on their partnership, testing the resilience of their shared cause against the weight of solitude. Rhea's hand closes firmly around Vort's, the grip a lifeline amid uncertainty. "Not alone," she affirms, her voice steady and resolute. "Our fight ends only when freedom reigns." Warm light floods the space, softening their features and knitting a renewed sense of trust between them. Their eyes meet, fierce and hopeful, melding resolve and companionship. This vow transcends mere words, sealing a bond forged in struggle and mutual sacrifice. Together, they stand ready to shoulder the burden, strengthened by unbreakable unity. The Peacebreaker dog tag glows softly in the dimness, its faint light casting a steady glow on armored hands locked in solidarity. The emblem pulses like a heartbeat, a beacon cutting through shadows of doubt and distance. Its glow reflects in their eyes, kindling quiet determination and a shared promise that this fight is far from over. In this small symbol, the weight of their cause finds form and focus, a luminous reminder that even in the darkest moments, their bond and hope endures. In the early twilight, rebel engineers bustle through long-abandoned starports, their hands steady as control panels flicker back to life. Dust settles from years of neglect as lights hum softly, coaxing dormant systems awake. Shuttles line up on cracked runways, their hulls loaded with precious cargo, food, medicine, and arms destined for desperate communities. Each shuttle's launch is a triumph, a lifeline sent from the ruins. This reactivation of infrastructure is more than logistics. It's a powerful symbol of renewal and defiance. Against the backdrop of twilight skies, vessels ascend with a promise to those waiting below. Hope delivered, resistance alive. Rhea's voice cuts through the static, echoing across every comm frequency, from hidden bunkers to open squares. "Stand with us, forge a world worth living in," she commands, her tone both fierce and inspiring. Her image flickers on hollow communicators, eyes blazing with determination that electrifies listeners. Crowds pause their tasks, faces turning upward to the glowing screen as her message spreads like wildfire through digital networks. The call is clear. Unity is strength, and the time to rise is now. across shadowed alleys and wide-open plazas alike. Her words stitched together fractured communities into a shared tapestry of rebellion and hope. Once shackled by fear and silence, citizens now march through battered streets armed with scavenged rifles and bold banners. Their footsteps drum a steady cadence, their voices rising in unison. No more lies, no more chains. Faces once etched with dread now shine with defiance, their eyes alight with newfound purpose. Flags ripple in the breeze, colors vibrant against the backdrop of ruined buildings. The air hums with chants and the clang of makeshift weapons, a symphony of reclaimed power. This transformation from whispered fear to roaring resistance marks the birth of a new era, a collective refusal to be broken, standing tall as one. High above the throng, Vort surveys the swelling ranks of rebels, a steady pride warming his gaze. He watches as hope rekindles in the crowd's energy, a powerful testament to their cause's resurgence. Nearby, Rhea wipes away a tear, her smile fragile yet fierce, a reflection of the first true victory, belief restored. The light of dawn filters through dust-choked air, bathing their faces in golden warmth. Between them, unspoken words pass, a shared understanding that this moment, this rebirth of faith, is the foundation upon which their fight will build. Together, they stand, hearts intertwined with the future they dare to reclaim. In the heart of the city square, the Peacebreaker's sigil glows fiercely within towering holocrystals. Its pulsing light casts vibrant colors across rubble-strewn faces gathered beneath it, a radiant emblem of hope amidst ruin. The sigil's presence is magnetic, drawing rebels and citizens alike to stand shoulder to shoulder, their shadows stretching long in its glow. Sparks flicker from nearby fires, mirroring the emblem's unyielding spirit. This symbol sustains morale, a visual pledge that despite devastation, the flame of defiance endures. The sigil stands as a rallying point, a beacon to guide the lost, a promise that resistance will not falter. In a moment heavy with resolve, Rhea and Vort clasp armored gauntlets, the metal ringing softly against the backdrop of gathering crowds. Their eyes lock, fierce, unwavering, each drawing strength from the other's steady presence. This simple gesture seals their shared commitment, a bond forged through hardship and sacrifice. Around them, the ambient glow of holocrystals casts warm light, bathing their joined hands in a hopeful radiance. It is a pact not just between two warriors, but between the people they lead and the future they fight to secure. Together, they embody resilience, the foundation of a movement poised to rise. As dawn breaks over the reclaimed city, rebel flags ripple proudly atop fortified buildings, casting vibrant colors across awakening streets. The rising crowd swells, faces determined, voices united, an unstoppable force woven from countless stories of loss and courage. The Starbreaker emblem gleams in the morning light, a beacon signaling the birth of something new. Beyond the horizon, the sun paints the sky in hues of gold and rose, promising hope amidst uncertainty. Together, they move forward, not as scattered survivors, but as a rising resistance, bound by shared purpose and the unyielding will to forge a freer tomorrow. Under the cloak of night, Rhea leads a tightly coordinated strike on a relocation convoy depot deep in the wastelands. Shadowed figures slip silently between cargo crates and disabled vehicles, guided by precise intelligence from underground resistance networks. Every movement is calculated, not a shot fired without purpose, avoiding harm to nearby civilian enclaves. Rhea's commands come sharp and clear, balancing tactical ruthlessness with a fierce moral code. The raiders disable engines, sever communications, and extract vital supplies before melting back into the darkness. These precision raids disrupt the oppressive machinery without sacrificing the innocent, signaling a new form of warfare, one fought with honor and unwavering resolve against tyranny. In the heart of the capital's media nexus, Vort's fingers fly across the comm console as he seizes control of the city's primary broadcast channels. Screens flicker and shift, suddenly flooding with the Emperor's private logs, damning footage revealing cold calculations to subjugate, not liberate. The citizens watch in stunned silence as bureaucratic coldness and ruthless plans unfold before them. Shock ripples through crowds gathered in public squares and private homes alike. For the first time, the truth slices through years of propaganda and lies, awakening a collective outrage. This unmasking becomes the spark that ignites the broader uprising, turning whispered rumors into undeniable facts that demand action. Standing atop a makeshift stage in a liberated plaza, Ria's voice rings out, clear and unwavering. Truth is the greatest weapon we wield. Around her, the crowd swells, faces illuminated by flickering hololights, eyes fixed on the woman who embodies their resistance. Her words carry the weight of sacrifice and hope, breaking the chains of silence. As citizens witness their oppressors denounced live, a surge of unity pulses through the gathered masses. Cheers rise, banners wave, and chants swell into a thunderous roar. In this moment, truth transcends rhetoric. It becomes a rallying cry, an unbreakable bond forging a community determined to reclaim their destiny from shadows of deceit. The rebel networks erupt as streams of incriminating data cascade across galactic communication grids. Files once hidden behind firewalls and censorship burst into the open. Encrypted contracts, secret correspondences, and evidence of atrocities flood every system. Digital maps light up as nodes connect and relay this torrent, overwhelming consortium efforts to suppress the truth. Across planets and space stations, users download and share, turning collective memory into an unstoppable force. Courts and tyrants falter before this tidal wave of transparency, powerless against the unified voice of a liberated populace. The data torrent is not just information. It is the lifeblood of revolution, a beacon that exposes corruption and fuels the insatiable hunger for justice. One by one, loyalist commanders laid down their arms, the tide of change sweeping through military ranks. Flags once flown in allegiance to empire are lowered, replaced by gestures of uneasy truce and silent understanding. Intense outposts, handshakes bridge former divides, soldiers becoming brothers in a cause reborn. The psychological weight of the rebellion's momentum fractures old loyalties, as no commander wishes to stand on the losing side of history. These surrenders ripple through sectors, signaling a systemic collapse of the regime's control. The war for hearts and minds reaches a turning point, where allegiance is no longer bought by fear, but earned through truth and the promise of a new covenant. In the Grand Hall of Vega's capital, representatives from every district gather to sign the historic Accord of Vega. The air hums with anticipation and hope as holographic seals illuminate the room, symbolizing unity and shared destiny. Hands shake across cultural and political divides, affirming a collective commitment to peace, justice, and rebuilding. The Accord enshrines the planet's vision: one voice, one future, one home. This covenant is both legal and moral, a blueprint for governance forged in struggle, embracing diversity and cooperation. As the final signature glows, a new chapter dawns for Vega, one written by the people and protected by their unwavering will. Across cityscapes and starports, the Peacebreaker emblem glows brilliantly on hollow shields and banners, ascending as the definitive seal of liberation. Its radiant light casts a warm glow on faces young and old, citizens saluting, embracing, and pledging themselves to the new era. The emblem's design, a fractured chain reforged into a shining beacon, speaks to the struggle endured and the freedom won. It becomes a living symbol etched not just in digital light, but in the hearts of all who dared to resist. The emblem rallies disparate factions under a shared identity, a constant reminder that true power lies in unity, transparency, and justice. Beneath a sky streaked with dawn's first light, Vega's skyline gleams anew. Wind turbines spin gracefully alongside solar arrays, bathing the city in clean, steady energy. Green spaces flourish where scars of war once ran deep. Streets bustle with life, children laughing and playing in parks restored by the hands of those who once fought to protect them. This rebirth is tangible, a testament to resilience and collective effort. Vega stands not merely as a planet rebuilt, but as a beacon of sustainable progress and peace powered by its people. The new dawn promises hope, prosperity, and a future forged through courage and unity. The revolution's heartbeat echoes across thriving cities and peaceful countrysides, a reminder that true power arises not from firewalls or weapons, but from collective will and transparency. Children play beneath banners waving in gentle breezes, while elders share stories of sacrifice and triumph. This lasting peace is fragile yet fierce, sustained by vigilance and a shared commitment to freedom. The people's strength, born from struggle and unity, forms the foundation for generations yet to come. In Vega's shining light, the revolution lives on, not as a fleeting blaze, but as an enduring flame illuminating the path forward. Where once sandbag walls marked the lines of defense, survivors now plant vibrant gardens. Tender hands sow seeds in fertile soil reclaimed from the ashes of war. Children's laughter echoes through parks that were once barren stretches of rubble, their joy a healing balm to the scars of conflict. Blossoming trees cast dappled light over freshly rebuilt homes, sunlight filtering through open windows and patched roofs. This transformation from ruin to renewal breathes life into communities long silenced by violence. Each sprouting leaf and playful shout stands as a testament to resilience, a promise that even in the aftermath, hope roots itself deep and spreads with quiet determination. In the restored town halls, Ria sits among community council members, her voice steady as she imparts lessons on governance, justice, and collective responsibility. Her words inspire a shift from survival to self-determination, guiding leaders to build systems that serve all. Nearby, Vort oversees reconstruction brigades, coordinating efforts to rebuild roads, water systems, and power grids. His presence grounds the effort in practical action, each blueprint laid and wall raised a step away from chaos toward stability. Together, their leadership transforms warriors into builders, uniting vision with toil to breathe new life into the planet's shattered bones. Offered a seat of high office in the emerging government, Ria listens quietly before shaking her head. "I'm a soldier of justice, not of titles," she says with calm resolve. Her choice speaks volumes, a refusal to be swayed by power or prestige. Instead, she pledges to serve on the front lines where her purpose remains clear, defending freedom and uplifting the people. Allies nod in understanding, recognizing that true leadership often requires humility and sacrifice. Ria's path is one of action, not accolade, grounding the movement in principles over politics. Hand in gauntlet, Ria and Vort stand together on a ridge overlooking Vega's endless plains. The twin suns crest slowly over the horizon, casting warm golden light that spills across rolling fields and quiet villages. The breeze stirs grasses, carrying whispers of renewal and peace. In this intimate moment, the weight of battle lifts slightly, replaced by a shared breath of hope. Their clasped hands symbolize partnership and promise, two souls united in purpose as a new day unfolds. This dawn is more than light. It is the birth of possibility, forged from resistance and perseverance. Across Vega's towns and settlements, the Peacebreaker emblem adorns archival chambers and town halls, etched in stone and projected in glowing holograms. Scholars and citizens alike gather in these vibrant hubs of knowledge, poring over recovered histories and newly written laws. The emblem stands as a silent witness to the power of individual courage and collective will. Its presence reminds all who enter that even a single soldier's defiance can ignite a movement that reshapes a world. Within these archives, memory is preserved and justice enshrined, foundations upon which future generations will build. As the sun sets, casting amber hues over tranquil landscapes, silhouettes of people work side by side, planting, building, healing. The journey toward peace stretches far before them, marked by challenges both old and new. Yet in every shared smile and steady hand lies the quiet strength of a people unbroken. Their resilience weaves a tapestry of hope that soft instrumental music gently lifts, carrying the promise that though the road is long, it is walked together, and healing will endure. In the bright, restored council hall, a young delegate steps forward with eyes full of curiosity and hope. Their voice breaks the quiet, asking Rhea, "You fought the war, then you fought peace. Why?" Around them, diverse faces of delegates watch intently, embodying the future they now inherit. The chamber pulses with the weight of history and the promise of what's to come. Questions that echo the legacy passed from one generation to the next, seeking to understand the true cost of freedom. Rhea kneels gracefully before the assembly, her voice soft yet unwavering like distant starlight. Because peace isn't surrender, she begins, eyes reflecting quiet strength. It's the greatest battle of all. Her words settle like a gentle but firm truth, reminding all that the fight for peace demands resilience, vigilance, and sacrifice far beyond the battlefield. The room holds its breath, absorbing the depth of her wisdom, understanding that peace is not an end, but a continuous journey requiring courage every day. Standing steady beside Rhea, Vort places a firm, reassuring hand on her shoulder. His voice carries warmth and respect as he adds, "And she remains our hero, peacebreaker of Vega." This simple affirmation anchors Rhea's legacy in the hearts of those gathered, a testament to partnership forged in fire and endurance. The shared light surrounding them hints at unyielding hope, their bond symbolizing the unity and strength needed to guide their world through both war and peace. Above the hall, the Peacebreaker emblem glows steadily atop the dome, a radiant beacon against the deepening twilight sky. Its light bathes the faces of the delegates below, casting long shadows that speak of struggles past and battles yet to come. This emblem is more than a symbol. It's a living reminder that freedom demands constant vigilance, that the end of one war is simply the opening of another chapter. The glow pulses softly, an enduring call to arms wrapped in hope. As the camera slowly pulls back, revealing the star-speckled sky stretching infinitely above Vega, a quiet voice narrates. Every victory plants seeds for the next struggle. Freedom is a cycle of endless vigilance and hope, woven by those brave enough to stand. The soft music swells gently, carrying a message that the fight for justice never truly ends, but neither does the spirit of those who dare to dream and defend it.